So hey everyone, Mayank here, and in this video we're going to talk about arrays in Python. So arrays used to store elements of same data type. Well, to make you clear with this concept, you can just assume that array is like a container containing elements, but there is a restriction over here that elements must be of same data type. Well, what is the meaning of data type? So here I have an example. You can see over here I have numbers, and these numbers are of integer data type. Then I have alphabets, and these alphabets are example of character data type. Okay, and then I have floating numbers, or you can say decimal numbers, and this is the example of floating data type. Okay, so that's very simple. There is nothing like rocket science in this. And over here I have type code like I for integer and U for character and then F for floating numbers. Okay, so we'll talk about type code when we'll execute our program. For now you can just learn this, that type code for integer is I, type code for character is U, and type code for floating is F. Okay, so let me just erase this and let me just ask you a question. Why we are learning this concept of array? Like we already have talked about list. Okay, so we can store things like you can store multiple values over there as well. So we have a list of 1 2 3 4 5, so you can store like this, and you can append, you can delete, you can do anything what you want. Then why we are talking about this concept called as array? Like what's the need to talk about this concept if we have already one existing concept called as list? Okay, so to make it clear with this thing, let me take an example that a teacher is making a application, and in that application she is using this list. Okay, she is creating an application, a web application or a Android application, anything with the help of Python. But okay, so she's using this concept of list and she's storing the roll numbers of student. Okay, so जब वो list use करेंगे उस time पर हम let's say 6 roll number की जगह किसी ने मयंक लिख दिया. Okay, so let's say my roll number is 6 and I have by mistake entered my name over here. Okay, so when I did this thing, there will be no error because list can store anything. It can store characters, it can store strings, it can store numbers as well. So that there is no error from my side, there will be no error from teacher's side, but there will be no 6 over here. Okay, so this is name, this is a string, not a number. So when teacher will press like teacher will just try to find the marks related to 6 number or 6 roll number, she will be not able to find anything inside this. Okay, because I have by mistake pressed my name over here, and that's what teacher don't want. To avoid this thing, or to avoid this mistakes, or you can say some mischievous things, teacher will create an array, and with the help of array teacher have a right to specify that this box can only contain integer data type. Okay, teacher can assign this box can only contain character data type or floating data type. So the teacher have power to assign the things. Okay, so that's really amazing. So now if I try to enter my name again, there will be an error because this time teacher have used array. Okay, this time teacher is not using list. Okay, so now we'll see what exactly array is and how we're going to create an array. Okay, so to create an array we have to first call the array module, and to call array module we'll say from array import, and you already know if you want to import everything you can use star. Okay, so when we use star everything is getting imported. Okay, so now we'll just use this concept called as array. Okay, so let me just create an array. Let me just take name of this array as roll number only. So let me just show you the beauty of array now. Okay, array is not actually like outdated, it's really important. Okay, so over here I have a roll number array, and I'll just say array. Okay, so it's array, and this is an array of, you can see over here it is asking for type code, then initializer. Okay, so avoid this for now. There is something called as type code. Okay, so as we are going to store integers, like we are going to store roll numbers, so what I'll do is I'll simply say IO here as type code. Okay, then comma, and then I will just use the square brackets, and inside the square brackets I'm gonna put all the values. Let's say 1 2 3 4 5 wait a minute, then 6, then 7, then 8, then 9. Okay, and our roll number is starting from 0. Like that's the special case. A school is having roll number from 0. And now if I try to run this code, let me just print why I'm running this code. There will be an error if I run this code. No error. Okay, so now if I try to run this code, then you can see over here I'm getting an array of integer type from 0 to 9. Okay, so it's working. But let me just change something over here. Let me just create a mistake again. Like from my side, I'm doing this, and I'm just entering Mayank over 6. Okay, so this time it's not gonna execute because Mayank is actually a string, and we over here are storing integers. Okay, so over here array is type of integer, but we are storing something called as string, so that's not going to execute and you will get an error. Okay, so got type string and integer is required. Okay, so we require integer and you are giving string, so we have to just erase this, and I will again say 6 over here, and this time if I try to run this code, I will get this. Okay, so that's how you're gonna create array. Okay, so array is going to create like this, and now let's do something with array. Like you can append, you can do a lot of things in array. Like you can add some values. Let me just add to show you how you can add. Okay, so let me just add, let's say I want to add 16 in this array. So now if I run this code, you can see I'm getting none over here, and that's because I have to use this code outside. Okay, so control C and then over here. Okay, so now if I just run this code, you can see I'm getting 16 inside this array. Okay, so here I'm getting 16 at the last. Okay, so that's how you can append, you can add new values. Okay, so similar way you can delete as well, and we have already talked about this all things in list and all. So let me just take something else. Let me just use buffer info. Okay, so buffer info is basically used to get the length and get the memory location of this array. Okay, so what I will do is I will just say buffer then info. Okay, so it's buffer info, and if I try to run this code, you can see over here I'm getting the memory location and I'm getting the number of elements inside this array. So it's from 0 to 9, total 10 elements. Okay, so that's about buffer info, and you can also use something called as reverse if you want to reverse this entire string, I can say entire array. So you can use reverse over here, and as it's gonna print none. So if I run this code, you can see over here I'm getting none. So what I will do is I'll just paste this thing because it's not gonna show any kind of output. So now if I run this code, let me just remove this part from here, and let me just run this code, and you can see over here I'm getting array as 987654321 and 0. Okay, so my array got reversed. That's amazing. Okay, so now let's try to do something else as well. Let me just think about something what we can do in this. Okay, so we should print elements by our own methods. Like we should call elements. Let me just say index number 8. So if I want to call something at index number 8, so I'll get 8. But what if I want to print all the values one by one? Like I want to print 1, then 2, then 3. Okay, I want to print 0, then 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 till 9. Okay, so what I will do